Dr. Vibha Dhawan, Director General of the Energy and Resources Institute, commonly called Teri. Teri was established way back in 1974, 18th June 1974 by Tata Group of Companies. It was J.R.D. Tata who was heading Tatas at that stage, and Mr. Darbari Seth, who was chairman of 12 Tata companies. And it was their brainchild, and I'll say that much before the world started talking about philanthropy, Tatas were well into it. They always believed give it back to the society. So with the result, Teri was established as not-for-profit autonomous research organization. Now these two words are very important. Autonomous essentially means that we were never worked for Tata companies. It was what are the problems that the mankind is facing, and they gave complete autonomy to work and not for profit. So profits were never in their mind. But it was in 74, no one was talking about energy. So we started work on renewable energy 50 years back. And then of course very soon we realized that energy is not the only problem. We started as a fund giving organization, and we also realized that if you really want to achieve something, you need to do your own research. So that's how we kept on diversifying. So our earlier name was Tata Energy Research Institute. We retained the acronym Teri, but then we got into other fields like agriculture, microbiology, looking into environment as a whole, and so on. And of course, our first Director General, Dr. R.K. Pachauri, so he was really a visionary, because he also started looking into the problems related to climate change. 1989, no one was talking about the global temperatures going up or climate change, and we were the first to conduct international conference in India on climate change. 1997, of course, there are many dates, but I'll just touch upon few. When entire India was talking about development, we had guts to say this development is not sustainable. And not as an activist, but we also said that there are ways. So our first book was Green India 2047, and then we brought out another book, Disha, which was that how can you achieve sustainable development, sustainable growth, and so on. And as I said that it's not just energy, we diversified into other areas, and today if you want to describe Teri in two words, it's sustainable development. We started with research, but we realized research alone is not enough. You need to have some influence on the policy. So we are a knowledge-based organization. And to achieve that, exactly 25 years back, we also established the academic arm of Teri, that is Teri School of Advanced Studies. And as an organization, today we are into research, we are into policy, implementation. We do implementation projects in places like Guyana, solar rooftop. We are also helping them with setting up of a tissue culture lab. So wherever there is requirement that Teri can fulfill, we go and implement projects in those countries as well. And for us, it is that we need to have global outreach, but also emphasize more on the regional and problems which are more in the country. And within India also, we have different regional centers, because if we look at the problems in the hills are very different from the problems in Delhi. So therefore, we have a center in Nainital, Uttarakhand, we have center in Guwahati, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Goa. So we work on the regional problems as well. And prior to COVID, of course, we had international presence as well, and which we are now working on to again restore that, so that we also work more at the global platform. And there are a number of initiatives, because we also believe there is lots to be done on energy transition. So with the backing of Ministry of Power and MNRE, we are also establishing Institute on Energy Transition in Hyderabad. and we have National Center of Excellence on Green Ports and Shipping, again looking into the entire chain, like right from building of ship to dismantling. Look at the ports, like what kind of infrastructure do you require at port, and not just port, then the trucks which come there. So, how green are they? How long does it take in loading and loading of ships and deloading and the entire logistics? What kind of steel is used? Can we make it more green? We work with various industries with their decarbonization plans. So, it's an entire gamut of activity with different stakeholders, the different kind of help they require. We work very closely with the youth. There is one program called Green Olympiad, and which is for the school children. So, we bring out special study material from there for them, conduct the exam, which is not restricted just to India, it is also internationally, Delhi public schools in different parts of the world. Students from there, they participate, and of course, in a way you are sensitizing youth in this particular debate on climate change, or bringing them awareness about this entire issue. And we work very closely with the government. We believe in sustainability, and we also say that practice what you preach. And therefore, Teri Retreat, and maybe I will go back a little bit more, the beautiful campus of Teri Retreat, Teri Gram, when we acquired this land, this was a degraded piece of land and there were hardly any trees there. And we had a very good forester working with us, Mr. A.N. Chaturvedi. So, the very first thing he told us, he said, fence the entire place. The natural fencing itself will bring greenery, and it is important that you have the local species. Then in a way, as I said, that you can never say return to the Stone Age. The comfort to which humankind has got used to, they require that. It is that they are to be told that you can have the same level of comfort without burning fossil fuel or without using too much of energy. And if you look at this campus, and in year 2000, solar was expensive and solar was not used much. But we thought that let us have a beautiful campus, Teri Retreat, where you are talking about resource efficiency at large. We also had biomass gasifier, and it is not biomass, essentially is what is coming from the trees which are growing in that very area. So, with biomass gasifier and earth air tunnel, and again as we are saying, it is not something new, it is well known. We all know that 6 meter below the earth, the average, the temperature over there round the year is average of that place. Now, in Delhi or at retreat, it is 25 degrees centigrade, and which is the best temperature for human comfort. So, what we are doing is that during summer, when the hot air goes there, it gets cooled, and that is what you circulate in the room. And during winter, it is the cold air which goes there and it gets heated up, and then you circulate it to the room. So, it is the best temperature, and I am sure since you have stayed there, you are far more fresh in the morning than sleeping in an air conditioned room. And these technologies are well known, it is only we are not practicing. The architecture, if we look at the architecture of the forts that we have in this great country, there is never ever water accumulation. There are places where you have so much of wind that you do not even require a fan, irrespective of the ambient temperature. So, we have to relook at those, learn from that and move forward. And the other thing which I would like to mention is that if we look at the buildings, we use so much of concrete today. The main difference in today's construction versus what was done many years back was that they relied on locally available material. Now, the beauty of locally available material is that it acts as an insulator, or those materials are best suited for that place. So, we need to go back, we need to look into the buildings, and let me tell you, we also have GREHA, which is the rating system for buildings, and it is right from the building design to the building material that you use, and we are now upgrading to how sustainably that building material has been produced. So, it is sensitizing, and also the myth that we have that greener means expensive, which is again not true. With the cost of solar coming down, it is something like your payback period is not even 2-3 years, and thereafter it is free. So, it is only bringing awareness. Every Teri building that we have constructed, of course, this particular one, this is an India Habitat Center. We could not practice everything that we believed in, because it's something, it's a common property by all the institutions which are here. But then Teri School of Advanced Studies, which is Teri University, our center in Guwahati, our center in Bangalore. So, they all practice sustainability as much as possible. The cost of renewables is gradually coming down. But you know, like I'll give you one example, like Teri University is in Vasant Kunj. Now, that is it's the tail end of Aravali Hills, and it's a very rocky kind of place. So, for earth air tunnel, we have to go 6 meters below, and therefore, you have to dug that place. But then environmentalists had big problem with that we are spoiling the entire ecosystem of that place, we are going down, and things came in the newspaper. Now, retreat, if you have seen it, we tried to build recreation facilities like 6 meters along the boundary, you can't have any construction. So, therefore, we decided that this area is to be maintained properly. So, why not to have a golf course kind? So, then it is that many a times it is not taken, people do not understand the reason. They say it is an institute, why should they have this facility? So, there are problems of that nature, and initially the cost of renewables being high, it was also the capex, which sometimes proved to be hindering, because as I said, we are not for profit. So, therefore, we have to earn money through projects, or otherwise it is not like a corporate sector where there are lots and lots of profits. So, that is the major challenge, but as I said, when there is a will, you find a way, and when it's once you are convinced, and we do all what we generate here is knowledge based. So, therefore, if you are taking any decision, everyone, at least in the institute, it is with you that yes, it needs to be done this way. But when I say it is not just capex, especially for earth air tunnel, you also require land, and which is a very precious resource in most parts. So, but then it's not just earth air tunnel, there are so many opportunities, options available to you. So, depending on what you are doing, you can choose different options which are available. Like for Leh and Ladakh, go for pressed mud rather than taking the cement all the way from Delhi to Ladakh. Use stone, what is locally available. So, look into other opportunities which are available. So, what I like to say to the fellow citizens on this planet is that this planet has enough for our needs. With so many negatives of COVID, we have seen or learned 2 very important lessons. First of all, we have no other planet to go to. So, if the problem comes, we have to face it. And the second is, if it appears in any part of the globe, it is going to have impact on you. So, the message therefore is that while we work on developing sustainable solutions, let us not concentrate only on the finances. These technologies are to be shared, because otherwise if they are not available, they are not followed by others, you are going to get impacted. And the second is, gone are the days when we talk of technology transfer. Today, let's talk of co-development of technology and partnerships, because you don't have time to do everything yourself. You have to learn on others' experience. You need to co-develop technologies and adopt those technologies, and we can do it. And don't be greedy. COVID also taught us you don't need so many clothes. You can cook yourself, you can eat yourself, although that again is with a question mark, because you also want economy to grow, but still keep your requirements in limits and share, because you don't have time to do everything yourself. You have to learn on others' experience. You need to co-develop technologies and adopt those technologies, and we can do it. And don't be greedy. COVID also taught us you don't need so many clothes. You can cook yourself, you can eat yourself, although that again is with a question mark, because you also want economy to grow, but still keep your requirements in limits and share.